Hey y'all, how you perking? I hope you're perking good. So, highly requested this, series is because we're gonna have to do more than one video on this. The Epi files that have been released. Uh, there's a lot of chatter going on about it. There's a lot of questions. There's a lot of feelings and thoughts on this. And I have reached out to y'all for some questions that you want answered. And everybody submitted a lot of questions. Like, y'all, this is a lot of questions that y'all had. Certainly too many to fit into one video. So we're going to have to make more. Now, here's the deal. You may or may not know, you probably do know, that YouTube does not like us talking about this. It flags it, it hides it, it bans it, it demonetizes it. It does all kinds of things to this particular topic. It does not like us talking about Epi and his lady friend. Her name, started with a G. YouTube doesn't like us talking about this. In the past, when I've made videos on this, it has gotten demonetized, taken down, things like that. And the reason why that's risky, like people will say, oh, so what if it's demonetized? Just don't be greedy and get paid for it. Well, one, you should get paid for the work that you do. But two, it goes far beyond being paid for the work that you do. If you keep getting demonetized, then you're showing YouTube you have a pattern of doing non-YouTube friendly content, and they flag your entire account. They flag your channel for continuously putting out stuff that they don't want you to put out. And they will shadow ban you. They will strike it down. They will, there are consequences to that kind of behavior. They want you to consistently be putting things out that they approve of. So it's a matter of channel preservation more than it is about the money you do or don't make on a video. So especially for a small channel like mine, my videos don't make much money anyway. This is a hobby, not a job. I have a day job. It's that. I just want to be able to stick around here with y'all for longer. Okay. I don't want to do myself in with this. So here's the deal about how this video is about to go down. A lot of these questions are questions that I'm not going to be able to ask on here. It's just not going to work out. Some of these questions I will be able to ask on here. So I have split this video up into two parts. There will be a Epi Files Dark Edition, and there will be an Epi Files Midnight Edition. The Dark Edition, it's because, hey, all of this material is dark, and we're going to be taking a look at some questions here that you're watching this video now, so you're about to see those questions. This is the Dark Edition. Welcome. You've made it. And we're going to be taking a look at those questions. The Midnight Edition is a compilation of all the questions that I'm not going to be able to put public here because YouTube will not allow it to be public. It's one of those that all of these questions are basically triggers to the system. However, if I put it on the Perk Squad and I intentionally do not monetize it, then one, me not monetizing it makes them not look at it as much. And two, putting it on the Perk Squad means it's not public either. So then they don't look at it too much. They don't monitor it too much. And so it's kind of a little backdoor way of still getting it out to you, but, not triggering the YouTube overlords quite as much. That's the best that I've been able to come up with on this platform without having to look at other platforms. And honestly, I cannot juggle other platforms right now. It's just, I've got day jobs, I've got other responsibilities and adulting and things to do. I cannot spread that myself that thin. Whatever I do has to be something I can do here right now. Right now, I don't have the option of that. So the only thing that I know to do on here is to do the stuff that I think can pass right here on the dark edition, and then do a midnight edition over there, not monetized, not public, so that hopefully there will be fewer eyes on it to flag it as being problematic. So, sorry for all the descriptions and the disclaimers and the this and that and the other. I just believe in transparency. I believe in letting you know the rationale of why certain decisions were made, so that if people feel annoyed or slighted or frustrated, I totally understand. I get it. And I am frustrated with you that this is the way we have to do things because of censorship stuff. You know, don't shoot the messenger. Take it up with the people that actually can make the decisions that would keep you from this. You know, if they changed the decisions, I would just throw it all out there. You know, I would shoot. If I didn't have to worry about it, y'all be hearing everything all the time, okay? So it ain't me, it's them. All that said, here is what we're going to look at today on both the Dark Edition and the Midnight Edition for people that are curious and want to know. So, we, on this Dark Edition that you are watching right now, what we're going to look at, will the rest of the files be released? We've been told that what's been released on the Epi files so far is not all of it. So, will the rest of them be released? We also are going to look into some major people that are named or alleged in the release. Kind of basically, hey, are those people for real shady? Is something really going on? Or like, you know, why is their names popping up in here kind of thing. We're also going to be looking into, will anyone in the U.S. be held responsible for their participation? So are people going to get away with this? Or are they going to have some real consequences? Okay, we're going to look into, in the files, there seems to have been some foreign interference in U.S. elections. Was there? Okay. And then finally, will President Trump be impeached and removed for his parts in the files? Okay, so these are the questions that all of y'all asked of me that I think I'm going to be able to look into here without triggering too much of the YouTube issues. The After Dark, the Midnight type of edition that's coming up later on the Perk Squad. These are the questions associated with that. So people are asking, is there a connection between Epi and John Benet Ramsey? That whole case. Was Epi a double agent? You know, somehow working for, you know, maybe different countries or militaries or, you know, things like that, or covert, undercover, or any kind of things along those lines. People are asking, is he still alive? There's a question about, did they do a prisoner swap of sorts? Somebody was saying, is this just the tip of the iceberg and there's actually some kind of a worldwide money thing going on headed by Russia or China or something like that? And basically just trying to see any other kind of what would be considered conspiracies that talk a lot about DEATH, and, sex stuff, because, oh, I missed one here. That basically is, the pizza stuff. Is that real? Like, does it stand for what people think it stands for? That kind of stuff. What does it stand for? Why are there pizza and grape soda references and stuff like that? That will also be in the extended midnight version as well, that we can't talk about here. So, y'all, we've got a lot to take a look into over these 2 videos. I'm going to do my best to get through this as best as I can. I'm going to do my best to touch on all of this as best as I can. And just be patient with me. Hang on for the ride. We are in this together. I've got my water to keep hydrating, because this stuff is hard to talk about. This stuff is hard to look into. And this is hard to connect to, my light team trying to channel information about this. This puts a lot on me. So we got some smudge sticks over there, smoking it up, trying to clear this space, and I'm going to try to keep myself as high vibe as possible, and I'm going to keep myself hydrated. And I suggest y'all do the same if we're in on this together. Okay, so now that we have all the explanations out of the way, all the disclaimers out of the way, and the agenda of our forthcoming plans out of the way, it is time to get started. So let's go ahead and pull up the cards over here and move this microphone right here. I am a licensed mental health clinician as well as a spiritual intuitive, and on these videos we take a look at the tea with the tarot. Don't let that freak you out. Got a good track record here on the channel. I meant to say that earlier, but I got ahead of myself. I just started jumping right on in. But yes, we're going to look into this. This is all alleged, just my interpretation. Got to say everything I can to CYA, aka cover my own ass and protect myself, as we go to look into these big questions together. Okay, so let's get shuffled up and see if I can try my best to aim for brevity in all of these. But y'all know my guides like to give context. They like to take their time. They don't like to be rushed. We get through what we get through in the time and the way that we do. But I will try to see how much of this we can squish in, because we've got 2 big videos here full of questions from y'all. So first things first, will the rest of the files be released? Let me just get a little bit on that. Okay. This was a simple-ish question. Should be a little bit of a yes or no, so I just wanted to go with only 3 cards instead of kind of a full thing here. Interestingly, I do see more getting released, because I see our 8 of Pentacles up right here. That's just kind of here. We're just churning them out, man. Just churning them out. So I do see that more files will be released. Now, in terms of will the rest of the files be released, as in presuming will everything be released? No. This partnership in a reverse position, and this guy waiting and waiting and waiting for his harvest to be ready so that he can go ahead and pick the fruits of his labor, in reverse. So there are certain people that are collaborating, that are partnering in some kind of a way, and they are able to keep things under wraps. They're able to be like, hey, if we connect on this together, some things just never have to come out. And so in reference to those aspects, people would just be sitting here waiting, indefinitely for it. So I do see more things getting released, but will we, in our lifetimes, have all of the files because of, the government or the courts releasing them like they've been doing? No. That is a very interesting mixed bag for us to start out with. Very interesting mixed bag. And I wonder how that will kind of come into play with our next questions, because the next one here is saying, ask about some major people named, some major people that have some kind of allegations, or, hey, I saw your name come up in here. They're major players. So some of the people that I have received messages or, emails or things like that about, that people are curious about. People are curious about President Trump, Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Prince Andrew, and the Clintons. So I guess we'll be looking into them too. And I'll probably try to do some kind of mini pools on each of them as well for time's sake, because I do want to get through all of these great questions that y'all have here today. So, oh Lord, y'all, let's brace ourselves for this. As I'm shuffling here, I am reminded that I don't think I need to ask specifically about Trump here today, because I have done at least 2 full videos and a live stream with people asking questions about Trump's involvement and connection to Epi and the Epi files. So I've actually done dedicated videos to answering people's specific questions about President Trump as it relates to this. So all of that's already here on the channel. You already have access to that. Full videos, at least 2 full videos and a live stream. And it's all labeled about the Epi stuff and Trump. So you can easily find those here on my list of videos and in my live stream tab. So I won't ask about him here just because that's already been covered extensively, but I will ask about these other people. So the next one in line, Elon Musk, the extent of his involvement allegedly with this Epi person. Okay. So we've got this one upright, these 2 in reverse here. This is more of a kind of distanced type of card. It's someone that it's my come hell or high water card. Like, come hell or high water, I'm going to get my way. It's going to be the way I want, kind of whatever. So I see Elon Musk coming up in here being like, I'm going to get what I want from this situation, but I'm also going to keep some element of distance. So it doesn't look like going full all in, I'm hook, line, and sinker involved in this kind of thing. It looks like he had some ideas for reasons why he would have liked being connected to the Epi person. Both of these cards coming up here are swords cards, mind cards, mental cards. So it seems like Elon Musk was more kind of in his head about this, in his mind, braining, thinking, all of that kind of stuff. So it looks like he may have been connected to Epi in terms of, for lack of a better way of putting it, using him for what he could get from him. I don't necessarily want to say using him as in, malicious, nefarious. I don't know what kind of using went on here, but it's all mental. This is a very mental energy, all mental. So it's like, let me as Elon Musk pick your brain, Epi, for your contacts, for your knowledge, for your insider stuff, for your this, that, or the other, because I need this tidbit that can help me. So it seemed kind of this is what I want to get out of it. So there's more mental energy coming around here related to Elon Musk than there is, other kinds of energies coming up. And I also get our Hermit card. In reverse in particular, this is a deep soul-searching card. I mean, the Hermit as is kind of a loner type of card. So he is, Elon Musk is kind of coming up here as more individualistic loner energy rather than like, oh, I'm part of the social group here. There's a specific social group of all these people who are in it, and I'm among it. I'm all a part this. He doesn't look like he's a part of that kind of social layout. He kind of is his own thing over here. That being said, the Hermit holding a staff is like a wand, and wand's energies do come up sometimes for being ambitious or passionate about certain things. So mostly here, his energy is coming up of, I have these ideas, I have these ambitions, I have these passions, and I can think of ways that you, Epi, will be helpful to me. And that's what I want to get out of this. So for the most part, I'm seeing Elon Musk's connection to Epi as, how can I help myself to further my own goals and make myself go far based on his knowledge and connections and stuff like that. So that's what I'm seeing there. Let's go ahead and now we know Trump from past videos. We know Elon from this. So RFK Jr. is who's next on my list. Let's look into him. All right now. Okay. Let's see. Spirit guides. RFK Jr. Very interesting. We've got 3 upright cards, 2 of which are pentacles, but then the Justice card is here, and it's here upright. Justice card stands for balance, fairness, legalities, and all of that being in the upright position. This card is about control and power and finances. This is about money and finances and physical things. So honestly, this is probably one of the least damning spreads that you could have if we're talking about relationships with the Epi character, because from what we've heard, people who are aligned with him in any kind of way, it don't look good. It doesn't reflect well on yourself. But for this to mostly, they're all 3 in the upright position, and we would want these to be in an upright position, as in that's their better positions to be seen in. And the Justice card in particular coming here in upright position is fairly exonerating for RFK Jr. Certainly with these, there looks to be physical and fiscal and monetary, kind of reasons why he might have wanted to be connected. So it seems like he, again, like Elon Musk and like most people probably that were connected and saw him as a way to kind of get in with the folks that can make the money and advance your careers. And like he's a foot in the door to somehow, rub shoulders with the right kind of people and excel. I'm sitting here rubbing my shoulder on Penelope. Rub shoulders with the right kind of people. I guess my microphone's the right kind of people. My personified microphone is my right type of people. All right. Jesus. be boastful, Penelope. You should take that as a compliment. So, but yeah, it's like the foot in the door. And so I do see him kind of wanting to use Epi for the same thing. I want to advance these things tangibly. I want a foot in the door. I want to build my finances. I want to build my networks and connections. I want to advance myself in some kind of a way that I can do through you. And that's coming up here. But this Justice card upright suggests that all of the deep, dark nitty gritties that are coming out of this whole Epi file situation, I just don't see that linked to somebody that has an upright Justice card here. You know, it just really seems like he was not at all in that type of capacity here. So this again feels pretty exonerating, I would say. So let's pull these up, look at the next person. Alrighty, so who else do we have on our list? Okay, we've got two more people on the list here. We have Prince Andrew, and then we have the Clintons, which I'm gonna guess people are more looking into Bill Clinton, you know, our ex-president, the husband. But let's first look at Prince Andrew, which I've heard that he's been stripped of his titles, and so he is not Prince Andrew anymore. He's just Andrew, I guess. So let's look into the used to be Prince Andrew, former Prince Andrew. We got some mixed results here. We've got this reversal here. These two uprights. However, in this case, I kind of wouldn't want to see this one in an upright position if we're looking at what we're looking at here. You know, the allegations being that some of the things that, you know, Epi's known for in a bad way is being predatory to people, especially females and things of that nature. And so we wouldn't want to see, you know, this card here that's kind of a, you know, lover boy type of knight. Out of all the knights in the deck, he's the cups. He's the one about love and all of that kind of stuff. And so we kind of wouldn't really want to see that necessarily here, even if it's in the upright position. And this reversal's not so great. But we've got this Ace of Swords here trying to carry it out. So yeah, this is a mixed lineup that doesn't look great. I know that Andrew, I want to say Prince Andrew, I know that he's somewhat disgraced. You kind of have to be to have your titles stripped from you. But I also don't think he's ever been like convicted of anything that I'm aware of, that there has ever been like anything but rumors that were unsubstantiated or stuff that I know of. I haven't deep dived into that. But here, again, we've got money and physical stuff with a female holding it in reverse. We have a lover boy card here in the upright, but this is just kind of our card, again, our mental card. So what these three things kind of in this order and this combination give off to me, you know, intuitively, the read that's coming up here, is that there was some sort of physical involvement here with at least a female. You know, it's one queen card coming up here. And the Knight of Cups, meaning that there was some sort of, you know, emotional ties to this person. So I don't know if we would call that a relationship, a situationship, and, you know, something inappropriate potentially, but that he had feelings for this person. But with this kind of mental clarity card here at an ace, it looks like at a core level, he would have had some sort of awareness of the clarity of the situation, as in, I'm clear enough about the situation to know it is not something I want to advertise. It is something that I would want to hide and dismiss and all of that kind of stuff, because I am clear on that. So I do see some shifty things here. I'm not seeing the worst of the worst. I don't know what all he's accused of. So I don't know the extent of the allegations against Andrew. From what I'm seeing here, it feels very mixed. It feels like, you had some romantic attachments in some kind of a way that were not right, such that you were clear enough to hide those because you knew they weren't right. But it's not showing like that was a sick part of the ring and I sat there and brought these people in so that they could be preyed upon and like, that kind of a thing. Now, I don't know if he's accused of that or not, but I'm just saying those kinds of things that are associated with the epi stuff, I'm not really seeing for him. I'm just seeing like, dude, you let yourself get wrapped up and catch feelings in this kind of thing. This is not the place to catch feelings, and these are not the people to catch feelings with and for. What are you doing? It's almost, dare I say, kind of pitiful, like somebody that feels like he can't just up and catch feelings all the time, but here's a secret way that he can, or whatever. So it almost feels kind of like teenagery or something, like, oh, let me sneak off to my little girlfriend or something. There's something that feels immature maybe about it. So not good, not the worst of the worst. Let's keep it moving. Let me look up our last set here. We've got the Clintons here. And like I said, I'm not gonna, I guess, look into Hillary Clinton, because I think the claims are like that there could have been some impropriety, sexually with Bill Clinton specifically. So let's look into Bill Clinton specifically. Alrighty. What do we see for that, spirit guides? Okay. So even though we have the devil card here, I will say it's a good sign that it's in reverse. Okay. I would rather not see this card at all. That would be best, to not see it at all. But it is in reverse, which makes it less scary or freaky or whatever to see. However, right next to it, we've got an upright Three of Wands and an upright Wheel of Fortune. Both of these cards are more on the positive end. And this card in reverse is the more positive side of this card, but it is still the devil card. And if they were going to give us something like actually positive, they just wouldn't give us this freaking card, okay? The fact that they're giving us this card at all means you can either have it a really bad way or a less bad way. So we've got it the less bad way. But we have it here with these others. So, I would say, because this one's coming up here, that out of all the people we've asked about today, including what we found out when we asked about President Trump in the past. So from President Trump, from Elon Musk, RFK Jr., Prince Andrew, I would say Bill Clinton, the fifth one we've asked about, this is probably the weirder one out of all of them here. Just because that card made a presence even in its reverse position. So what this looks like, this is looking like, you know, traveling and stuff like that. It makes me feel like he was used to traveling to or with or for Epi. That was something that he may have done frequently. I don't know if that means always on that. What is it? The plane Lolita Express, or something, Lolita something. Um, I don't know that it always means that, but like, you know, we're in company, we have some comings and goings together frequently, type of thing. The Wheel of Fortune upright is a good luck card. It's also a destiny card. It's also a card about the three fates that get to make decisions on people's lives and end of lives and things like that. And it bodes well for the people because of it being a good luck card. If the devil card was not in here at all, I would be like, damn, these two look really good. Exonerated. You know, I would just, these two by itself, I'd be like, exonerated, just like how we were kind of saying with RFK Jr. that, yeah, sure, there's some selfish personal reasons why you want to dibble and dabble with this dude, but outside of that, you know, that's all kind of thing. And I would end it there. But since we have this here, that just really does change the dynamic, even in the reverse position. What this tells me is that even though Bill Clinton may not have been an active part in, let's say, chaining these people up, keeping them captive, you know, all this kind of toxic, scary, dark stuff, for it to come up here in his spread at all means that he was aware of this, that he knew that this, so, and I guess he's alive now, so that he knows this was a part of it. All alleged, just my interpretation. That there was an awareness here. And so when I'm seeing this all together with this added component, he feels more in the know than a lot of these others do. So let's pretend the way they're giving me in my head. How do I draw this out? What is this? Is this a piece of mail? I hope I'm not going to need this. Let me see. Something that doesn't look like it's a... Oh, they wrote on double sides on this shit. What is this? All right, here's a piece of paper. I can use the backside of this mail. So, I'm going to show you the visual I'm getting. So, let's visualize this kind of bullseye type shape. And we're going to pretend this is the Epi type shape, okay? The people who are in this outer circle are people that know him as like the financier, the person with the connections, or the person who can break connections, the person, you know, to talk to be a part of some sort of an in crowd, or to have fun. This is going to be fun. Pretend it's like a firework fun, you know, stuff like that. They know that kind of surfacey thing. Then there's going to be people here that's like, hey, we know this is the guy that can get you stuff, get you stuff. Like he's, you know, wink, wink. He's your guy. If you need some of these things, you know, don't write about it. Don't leave a trail, but just so you know. Then there's going to be people here that's like, dude, do you know that personally, you know, personally, all this is chicken scratch. Do you know that personally he does this and this and that, and personally he can get you this and that, and you know, some of these things that he does, or some of these things that, you know, it's a part of this, or whatever. It's kind of getting intense. And then there's people that are like here in this kind of really inner circle where it's like, all right, you want to be a part of the club? I'm going to write club. Now I'm just writing club. I don't, you know, again, all alleged. I don't know if there's any like for real club, but like, you know, in a hypothetical sense, you want to be a part of the club? So, you know, here's the secret password and the knock this many times and the here's the, you know, secret society level club or whatever kind of thing. It's like, now you're here. So almost like if you're thinking about how governments have a this is public information versus this is private information that can be searched or FOIA'd or subpoenaed versus this is information that's confidential, you know, and you have to be certain clearance to get this versus this kind of information is like totally freaking classified. You ain't ever gonna even know about it unless you are like CIA or something like that. You know how there's those kind of stages for like government and stuff that goes that way? Apparently there were like stages like that of Epi, and it looks like RFK Jr. was out here and Elon Musk was out here. And let me look at my thing. And it looks like Trump was, from our previous videos, probably between this and this. But it seems like Prince Andrew was also probably between this and this. And it seems like Bill Clinton and the Clintons and anything Clinton-y here. So this, I'm all like that, you know, and the Charlie from It's Always Sunny in Philadelphia with the like the red lines and the That's what I feel like right now doing this. And this isn't even the midnight edition. So allegedly, just my interpretation, that's what I'm seeing here for these people. And that's the best way that I can describe what I'm getting here. And I'm trying. I drew you a picture, okay? If these pictures aren't enough, I drew you a picture. Not that that was pretty, but just letting you know. All right, y'all. We've already done a ton of questions, and we still have 1, 2, 3 more questions to get into today for this video before we start looking at the midnight edition over there on the Perk Squad. So let's pull these up, shall we? And shuffle up. And speaking of the Perk Squad, since we're going to end up doing a second video over there, and it's not an extended, it's a full ass video. It's gonna last a long time, just like this one. It's just that those are the questions that I cannot put over here and expect my channel to be safe. Speaking of the Perk Squad, if you want to join the Perk Squad so that you can see that video that's going to come up here later after we're done with this one, then you can click the join button down below, or you can click the link in the description box. There are lots of perks over there, so all these exclusive videos, there are also exclusive posts, there are weekly forecasts every single week, which is why it's a weekly forecast. It's every single week. You get your own specific Penelope, you get your own emojis, and you get video shout outs. So shout out to you, Smarty151, and thank you for being a member of the Perk Squad. We are happy to have you here. So thank you, Smarty151. Shout out to you. Lots of things over there. So join button below, just link in the description box if you want to look into the Perk Squad. All right, what's next on this list? Let's see. A heavy hitter. Several of you asked this. Will anyone in the U.S. be held responsible for their participation in this? All right. Oof. Oof. So, 1,000-yard view. 1,000-yard view. The answer is yes. The answer is yes. So, here we have some people that are coming up in the upright position with this reversed Eight of Swords, meaning I'm in a strong enough position that I don't have to, quote unquote, fall victim to this, aka I don't have to, this card sometimes in the upright can be considered my prison card because it looks like someone's, quote unquote, behind bars. So in reverse, it's like a lot of these people will be in strong enough positions to avoid bars. However, this Three of Swords comes up here. This is the heartbreak card. This is, you're getting right through it here. So that can range from several different things. It looks like the majority of people, in the US at least, that will have been mentioned here in the Epi files that people are like, look into them. I think there's some inappropriate shit going on. Look into them. Hold their feet to the fire. That the majority of those people are going to be able to get away with not going behind bars, but they won't be able to escape some type of karmic justice. When that Three of Swords comes up, this means they could have their relationships broken up over this. People being like, I don't want to be with them anymore because they're tainted now. Their name, their reputation, scarlet letter. That means they could lose business deals. Ooh, it's bad doing business with you. Now that you've, been named or you have these allegations, I don't want to look like we have anything to do with you. So I'm going to start saying, I don't really associate with this person anymore. So you might lose your business dealings over this. You might lose some sort of support. Let's say you were in politics and some of your constituency is like, I'm not going to vote you in anymore. And so you lose some support politically. Let's say, seriously, and you could be losing your political support, your business support, your financial support, your support system emotionally with loved ones. Like, it looks like consequences are going to befall a number of these United States people who are responsible in some kind of a way or alleged to be responsible in some kind of a way. People whose names pop up and people are side-eyeing the fact that their names are popping up in the files. So I do see some ramifications. The idea of it being literal prison time is what I'm not seeing as much of. So maybe there will be a person here or there that might face some actual time for this. But the vast majority, it seems, are unlikely to be held responsible in that type of a way behind bars, and are more likely to be held responsible in terms of the way that they lose based on being scarlet lettered, ostracized from the in-group. You're tainted. We don't want to associate with you anymore. Canceled. That kind of thing. Very interesting indeed. And I'm sure we could get into the weeds with this at some point, but y'all know this video is already long and we still have 2 more questions before we get to the midnight edition on the Perk Squad. So let's pull these up and get to the next one, shall we? Shit shuffle, man. Shit shuffle. These cards, I just need to break down and get me some new ones. I'm just like, but this deck has more life in it. All right. The next question that we have down here is, and also, just so we know, I want to give a special shout out here too. Let me pull it up. Let me go to my channel. Scroll over to my posts tab, because that's where I let people know, hey, what questions are you interested in me asking? And people were giving me the questions that they wanted for this video on post tab. So if you want to be able to participate when I ask for questions and stuff, check out my post tab. I mean, you can always put questions in these videos as well, but you know, specifically make sure you're looking at my post tab. But I want to give a special shout out to Chavira 72able is what it's coming over here, 72able. But Chavira, shout out to you. You have come up with the majority of these YouTube appropriate questions. A lot of the other questions were the midnight edition questions that we have to ask on the Perk Squad. But shout out to you, Chavita, for coming up with the questions that we are allowed to ask on this video. So special acknowledgement to you as a thank you for helping us find some way to have something here that we can do for everybody, that, you know, for people that aren't necessarily a part of the Perk Squad or unwilling to or not wanting to or not able to join the Perk Squad right now. Shout out to you for making this video possible for the public. So we would have no public stuff to offer everybody if it weren't for Chavita. So thank you very, very much for that shout out to you. So your next question here. In the files, there seems to have been some sort of foreign interference in U.S. elections. Was there? So was there really some sort of foreign interference in U.S. elections? Okay, so we've got several things kind of coming up here. Here's two uprights, here's a reverse, but it's interesting that this guy's coming up again. Let me take another sip of water, hydrate if you haven't. I say take a sip of water as I'm like, oh, take this big ass gulp. The reason why I say that is this guy has come up in multiple readings as we do these kinds of, you know, political things, and this is a political question. It's asking about U.S. elections, and so he kind of typifies a couple of our leaders. In the past, this has been a President Joe Biden. In the past, this has been an Elon Musk. So this card has represented multiple people in politics. So in this case, I'm not sure who it is representing, but I do know that it is representing one of our political adjacent or politically aligned people here in the United States. Our Sun card coming up here, upright position, very strong, strongest card in the deck, really. And just kind of being like, this is strong to help things, you know, to go well, to go strong, to, you know, to have that flavor. So it is interesting to kind of see that here, but I will say the Seven of Wands is in reverse, which is more of a card about letting go, giving up, quitting. So I would say, and I don't know the allegations about interference in U.S. elections, some foreign interference allegations. I don't know anything about that for the files. I don't know what's being alleged. I don't know at what election, who, which foreign interference. I don't know foreign who, foreign Russia, China, you know, Israel, what, I don't know. I know those are the people that sometimes folks name when they're talking about, you know, other folks, but I have no idea. So looking at this, not knowing what the allegations are, reading it cold, I would say that I'm not seeing anything here that screams interference, manipulation, we're involved, we're doing something. I'm not necessarily seeing that. In fact, this kind of letting go, dropping it kind of thing, giving up doesn't really feel very interference-y. The only thing that I could think of, and again, this is me stretching right now. There have been times in the past where this card, because we're looking at this big sun and all this red and da-da-da-da-da, that in the past this has come up for China before. But I don't know that that's strong enough here for me to say, oh, Chinese interference in U.S. elections. I don't know that I would necessarily say that from this. I'm mentioning that in the past it has come up like that, just so for those of y'all that like to go down all the rabbit holes or whatever, can be aware of that. But from here, if there were any attempts that from these allegations, I don't see that these attempts would have amounted to much. So, let's say the files say these were the attempts of foreign interference in U.S. election. Here, these are the attempts, these people for this specific election to rig for or against this specific person. If that was a thing, it was a thing mostly in idea only, or I wonder what it would be like if we could do this kind of, thinking about it, maybe plotting or planning, but then dropping it or letting it go because not finding any real, true, good, viable way to make it happen. Realizing, well, this isn't really we're not really gonna be able to go for this because of X, Y, or Z. So it's not really gonna amount to much. It's not really gonna do anything. There's not really much that can be done. It's not really shaking out for much here from what I'm seeing. Should it be a problem that the conversations even came up? Sure. Should it be a problem that there was even plotting and planning in place? Sure. There's all kinds of things about this that looks problematic. It just doesn't look successful. It doesn't look like they were actually really able to do anything. Kind of had to just let it go. Kind of had to just give up on it. Oh crap, my camera I think is going to cut out because this video's been on for too long. It has overheated. So let me go ahead, pull these up, reshuffle them, and there will be one more question left on this video before we go to the next video. And that way I'm going to let myself through the end of this video be cards only because my camera croaked. We've been doing this for too long. We've been trying to go too far, too hard, too long. And my poor camera didn't make it. But we've still got this one. I'm going to finish it out. And then I'll let my camera rest and cool off before I do the Perk Squad video with all of the midnight edition stuff. And maybe I'll even turn off all the lights in this room so that it'll cool down in here. But let's go ahead and look at this last question together, which is, will Trump be impeached and removed for his parts in the Epi files? Let's see. Oh, and just in case, now that went out, just in case it becomes important, I have been filming. It's 5:10 now, so I guess I started filming, I don't know, somewhere in the 4 o'clock or something. Either way, it is Friday, February 6th, if you can see that. Friday, February 6th. So in case it becomes important to know that I have been filming this video on Friday, February 6th, somewhere in the 4 o'clock p.m. range, then good. We will take note of that for this. But we just want to see if Trump will be impeached and removed for his participation in this. Jeez Louise, all this stuff. I brought a reverse on this one. It kind of came out wonky. Okay, it did go back reverse. Very interesting here. These two reverse, this upright. So, as we're looking at this, again, this is our good luck card, our good luck omen. This is, it's destined to happen. It's kind of going down the line this way type of card. These in reverse are Knight of Cups in reverse. Like, remember again when we were seeing it upright for Prince William, and I was like, I kind of wish we didn't see that card here, because it shows he had some, attachments, emotional attachments. He caught some feelings. He was, trying to maybe have some sort of a relationship. That's coming up in reverse for President Trump here. And over here, this sometimes comes up as an evidence card for me in past readings about, legal matters. And it is a legal matter when we're talking about things like impeachment. Coming up in the reverse, it's almost like we don't have enough evidence in legal matters. Now, do we perhaps have enough rumors? Sure. Enough circumstantial evidence even? Probably. But in terms of whatever kind of stuff that would be needed for people to impeach and remove, it looks like there might be something missing there that gets kind of our upright Wheel of Fortune here, where it's kind of like we're able to squeak by. So it doesn't look likely. Now, I'm also, the fact that these two are reversed and this one's upright, this is still a mixed energy of upright and reverse. So this isn't a very strong pull for President Trump. It's just also not necessarily weak enough for me to be like, uh-oh, he better watch out, that kind of thing. So I just don't necessarily see that happening based on what's come out in the files. Perhaps there might be some time or some way for people to say, based on what's come out in the files and what's come out from this thing and what he did or said or whatever on this thing and blah, 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 blah. Like, this might be a part of something that has a lot of ands to it, and maybe that could eventually transpire into an impeachment. But as a result of this, I'm not seeing enough here for all the things that would be rolling for him to kind of, fall through the cracks that bad, and it just House of Cards tumble from there. His Wheel of Fortune card keeps him buoyant. It's kind of like he's not on the cruise ship anymore. He fell overboard, but he had a life raft. So he's technically in the ocean, but he's staying afloat. So with that life raft, technically, somebody can come pick up and save him, and he may not, that kind of a thing. It's like there's something here to keep him afloat. He has the means to keep afloat to avoid impeachment and removal based on this alone. So, again, maybe there's a situation we might find later that is an and, where this is a part of it, but then there's other parts of it too, and all of that in aggregate does something. But this by itself, I'm not seeing that. So, alrighty, y'all. Obviously, we talked so long today that my camera blacked out and overheated. It could not handle all of this. It was too much. I'm going to take a little bit of a break before we come into the after dark. If you would like to book a private reading with me, BeasTalksAndTarot.com, you can book a private reading with me. And we have all kinds of different things on there. Private readings, Reiki Energy healing, intuitive healing, kind of life coaching type sessions, tarot tutoring to learn how to read the cards the way I read the cards. We've got all of that there on BeasTalksAndTarot.com. So take a look at that if you're interested. And again, if you want to know the following questions, I will tell you which ones. For the midnight Yes, for the midnight, you're not going to be able to read that, but for the midnight edition video, we're going to look into, is there a John Benet Ramsey connection with the Epi files? Was Epi a double agent some kind of a way? Is he alive? Is the pizza thing, real? Did they do a prisoner swap of sorts? Is there some sort of worldwide scheme with involvement from Russia or others that he was involved in? All of that kind of stuff coming up for you here in the second video that's going to be put on the Perk Squad, because it sure as heck ain't allowed here. That's going to trigger way too many things. Way too risky for the survival of this channel. So I'm going to put all of that, SEX and DEATH related stuff over there, and things that, the risque stuff. So join us over there if you want to look into those kinds of topics. Coming at you soon, Perk Squad, when I rehabilitate my camera and get it back on. So y'all, thank you for your patience with all these technical difficulties. Drink your water to hydrate. Do what you can if you do any kind of smudging or whatever, or prayers to help you kind of lift and clear and cleanse your space after something this heavy. I'm going to be doing the same. And here's a B-roll that we're going to get into here in a second that can help lift the mood, lighten, liften, just kind of make it a little bit more fun, end with a smile after all of this heaviness. So stay tuned, and for everybody else, don't be a stranger, come back and see me, and I will talk at you later. Bye, love you, mean it. Bye, love you, mean it. Bye, y'all. Simon. Give me these.